Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading deep into Rajasthan, India's largest state, to really get under the skin of its capital, the famous pink city, Jaipur. And, this isn't just some dusty historical town. It's this amazing mix of, ancient wisdom, a really rich culture, and also a surprisingly dynamic modern economy.
Absolutely.
We've gathered a whole load of material for you, articles, some deep research, our own notes, really trying to help you grasp, every angle of this amazing place.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
So our mission today, to kind of dig up the story behind Jaipur, look closely at its unique architecture, which is fascinating, shed some light on how its economy works, and of course walk you through the incredible historical spots.
Right.
The idea is, by the end of this, you'll have a much deeper and hopefully pretty quick understanding of what makes Jaipur tick.
And what's really fascinating about Jaipur, I think, and maybe something people don't always realize straight away, is that it's not just famous for its past, It's actually a living example of really groundbreaking urban planning. I mean, centuries ahead of its time, that planning secured its spot in India's Golden Triangle tourist circuit.
Ah, the Golden Triangle, yeah. Delhi, Agra, Jaipur.
Exactly. And as we go through our sources today, you'll see how this city didn't just create this unique identity, but it also adapted, changed through time while still staying really connected to its roots.
That's a tricky balance.
It is. It's this extraordinary mix of legacy and progress, and that's really what we want to explore today, get into the details.
That sets it up perfectly because the way Jaipur started is, it's quite a story. It's known as the Pink City, obviously, but it was officially founded way back on November 18th, 1726.
By Maharaja Sawai Jai Singh II.
Exactly, from Amer. And the city's named after him, naturally. But it wasn't just like a king deciding he wanted a new city. It was actually really strategic. Very practical reasons behind it.
Yeah, Amer was getting crowded, wasn't it?
Totally. Amer, which is now basically a suburb of Jaipur, was hitting its limits in the early 18th century. The population was growing and, crucially, they were having water supply issues.
Water. Always key.
Absolutely. So the need for a new, properly planned capital was becoming really urgent. It just shows the kind of foresight Sawai Jai Singh II had to think up this grand new city.
And if you look at the bigger picture, that whole idea of painting it pink, that actually came way, way later.
Oh, right. That wasn't from the start.
No, not at all. That was in 1876. The ruler then, Maharaja Sawai Ram Singh II, he decided to paint the whole city this sort of terracotta pink color.
Just like that. Why?
Well, it was a big deal. It was to welcome Queen Victoria, the Prince of Wales, who later became King Edward VII during their royal visit.
For the British royalty.
Exactly. And from then on, it got stuck with the nickname the Pink City. And that color really became part of its identity. But like you said, the real core identity is in that meticulous planning.
The architect, right, Vidyadhar Bhattacharya.
Spot on. He's considered one of India's absolute geniuses in urban design. Under him, Jaipur was built super methodically, following these ancient Indian principles, Shilpa Shastra, which covers arts, crafts, architecture.
Okay.
And Vastu Shastra, which is like this whole science of architecture, focusing on harmony with nature and cosmic energies.
Wow. So really thought through.
Incredibly so. They say, if you measured the city with a piece of string, the alignment is so perfect, you wouldn't find even a hair's breadth of difference.
No way. That's unbelievable for that time.
It really is.
Yeah.
Amazing engineering and artistry. And the city was cleverly divided up 9 sections in total.
9 sections.
Yeah. 2 were kept for the royal buildings, the palaces, and the other 7, they were for the general public.
Huh. So planning for everyone.
Exactly. It was a plan that was just light years ahead of its time. It still inspires urban planners today, honestly.
Yeah.
A really early example of organized, maybe even sustainable urban living.
It's just staggering at the level of detail and, vision that went into it. And for security, you mentioned the walls.
Right. Formidable walls, ramparts all around. Originally 7 big gates to get in.
7 gates.
Then later, they added an 8th one, the new gate, as the city grew.
Makes sense.
And the whole city is sort of laid out in about 6 main blocks, and the roads connecting them are incredibly wide. Some are like 111 feet or 34 meters wide.
That's massive. Must feel quite open.
It does. It contributes to that organized feeling. 5 of these blocks kind of wrap around the central palace area from the east, south, and west. And then there's a 6th block just to the east.
Okay, got it.
And inside that central palace zone, you've got the amazing Hala Mahal complex, these beautifully planned gardens, even a little lake. Very regal.
Sounds stunning.
And then, looking down from the northwest, On a hill overlooking the old city, you have Nahargarh Fort.
Ah, the fort on the hill.
Exactly. It's like a crown watching over the city below.
Mm.
More than just a landmark, it feels protective. And right there in the middle, you also have the Jantar Mantar, that incredible astronomical observatory built by Sawai Jai Singh II himself.
The king built an observatory.
He did. Shows his deep interest in astronomy and science. It's really quite something.
That is fascinating.
Which sort of brings up a key question, doesn't it? How did this city stay so well-planned and keep its unique character for so long?
Yeah, good point, especially through all the changes, British rule and everything.
Well, even during British times, Jaipur was mostly controlled by the Rajput landlords of the Kachwaha community.
Okay, the Kachwahas.
They were pretty strategic. They maintained loyalty to the Mughals earlier and then to the British. That gave the city a lot of stability, allowed it to keep developing while other places were, facing disruption.
Smart politics.
Very. And today, of course, Jaipur is a key part of that Golden Triangle tourist route we mentioned.
Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. Got it.
Yeah, connecting the capital, the Taj Mahal, and Jaipur. If you plot them on a map, they make a triangle, hence the name.
Makes sense. And it's not too far from Delhi, right?
About 280 kilometers. So yeah, really accessible, super popular for tourists, both Indian and international.
And people call it the Paris of India.
They do.
Mm.
I suppose it's a nod to its beauty, the artistic vibe, the culture.
Nice comparison.
And just to recap that point, it wasn't always pink. That only happened in 1876 when Maharaja Sawai Ram Singh II ordered the paint job for the Prince of Wales' visit.
Right, got it. The welcome paint.
Exactly. And Sawai Jai Singh, the founder, he was also worried about defense. He built those strong city walls mainly to protect against potential Maratha attacks. They were a real threat back then.
A sensible precaution.
Definitely. And beyond just walls, he set up this really advanced armory up in Jaigarh Fort. That's where they cast the massive Jaivana cannon.
The huge cannon. I've heard about that.
It's incredible. One of the biggest in the world. Even today, scientists are amazed by its size and how they managed to cast it back then.
Wow.
And one more thing about the planning end. Sawai Jai Singh divided the city into those 9 residential sectors. The Chowkras.
Chokras, right.
The biggest one, Chowkri Sarhad, that's where the main palace was, other royal homes, the Jantar Mantar, and the important Govind Devji temple.
Huh.
And the other chokras were for citizens, grand houses, or havelis, workshops. It showed this really complete approach to city planning. He seemed to treat his subjects like a big family, making sure everyone had what they needed.
That's a really interesting way to think about city design, not just streets and buildings, but community.
Exactly. It was holistic.
Okay, so that's the foundation, the incredible planning. But what about Jaipur today? What drives its economy? Because as you said, it's more than just history.
Oh, absolutely. What's really striking about Jaipur's economy is just how diverse it is. It's not just relying on tourism, though that's huge. It's genuinely becoming an economic powerhouse in its own right.
A powerhouse. Okay, so lots of different things going on.
Definitely. Our sources show there are quite a few layers to it.
Let's peel them back then. Where do we start? Tourism seems like the obvious one.
It really is the backbone, you could say. If you look at the sheer number of iconic sites, Amer Fort, Jaigarh, Nahargarh, the City Palace, Jantar Mantar, Hawa Mahal.
Yeah, the big names.
Exactly. They draw millions of tourists every single year. The uniqueness, the stunning architecture is put Jaipur firmly on the world tourism map.
And that means jobs, right?
Thousands of them, directly. Think about people working in the heritage hotels, the guides who know all the stories, all the shops and businesses catering to visitors.
Yeah, the whole ecosystem around tourism.
Precisely. Millions of visitors, both domestic and international, bring in massive revenue. Hospitality, restaurants, handicrafts, it all contributes significantly. It really anchors the city's economy.
Okay, handicrafts. That feels like another really core Jaipur thing, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Jaipur's identity is so closely linked to its crafts. You've got the beautiful like bangles, that distinctive blue pottery.
Love the blue pottery.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Then there's intricate block printing, the amazing jewelry work, the vibrant Lahoriya saris, the traditional judis, the bandhedge tie-dye fabrics.
All world-famous stuff.
Globally recognized. And these aren't just souvenirs, They represent incredible skill, generations of artistry passed down.
Yeah, real craftsmanship.
And speaking of jewelry, Jaipur's gems and jewelry industry is massive. It's a global player. Millions of skilled artisans creating high-quality pieces. It's a huge part of their international market presence.
Wow, millions. That's significant.
It really is.
So tourism and handicrafts are huge, but you mentioned it's modernizing too. how does a city so focused on tradition embrace, say, technology?
Well, that's the interesting part, isn't it? And it raises that key question. How do they balance it?
Yeah.
But they are doing it. In recent years, Jaipur has made really big strides in IT and the tech sector generally.
Oh, right.
Areas like Melvia Nagar and Jagatpura, for instance, you're seeing lots of tech parks popping up, IT companies setting up shop. It signals a real shift towards a knowledge economy.
And startups, is that happening there too?
Definitely. The startup scene is booming. It's growing really fast, creating new kinds of jobs for young people, attracting talent, fostering that whole entrepreneurial vibe.
That's great to hear.
And it's not just tech. Jaipur's also become a major center for education and healthcare.
Okay, how so?
Well, top quality universities and institutes are drawing students from all over. And then in healthcare, you have major hospitals like Fortis, Escorts. They've really put Jaipur on the map as a leading healthcare provider, not just for locals, but for the whole region.
So tech, education, health. That's quite a modern portfolio building up.
It is. It shows a real diversification.
And what about other traditional sectors, like textiles? You mentioned Banhej and block printing.
Right. The textile and garment industry is still very important. That intricate Banhej, the block printing, the embroidery, it's hugely popular nationally and internationally.
Does that employ a lot of people too?
Yes, and significantly, it provides work for thousands of women, giving them economic independence, which is crucial.
That's fantastic.
And then you have agriculture around the city. The rural areas contribute with things like pulses, millet, mustard. Plus, cottage industries add to local livelihoods.
So a mix of urban and rural economy is feeding into it.
Exactly. And finally, you can't ignore real estate.
Ah, property. Always a sign of growth.
For sure. The market's booming. Lots of big projects are happening, partly under the smart city initiatives. It's attracting investment, changing the skyline, improving infrastructure.
It sounds like a lot is going right economically, but are there challenges? Every growing city faces them.
Oh, definitely. It's important to be realistic. While the economy is growing, there are issues. Unemployment is still a concern, especially as the city urbanizes rapidly.
Growing pains.
Exactly. And sometimes, the smaller traditional industries find it hard to compete with bigger players. That's a challenge.
So ensuring that growth is fair reaches everyone.
Precisely. Making it sustainable and inclusive is key. But looking ahead, the potential is huge.
How so? What's next?
Well, things like digitizing tourism, making it easier to access globally, offering customized experiences, investing in green energy projects, and continuing to support that startup culture.
Right, building on the momentum.
Exactly. All these things can make Jaipur's economy even stronger. It opens doors for innovation, attracts more investment. The future really does look bright, economically speaking.
Okay, let's switch gears then. We've talked history, planning, economy. Now let's get into the sites. The places that make Jaipur this tourist paradise.
Right, the landmarks.
Yeah.
Where the history really comes alive.
Absolutely. And there are so many renowned spots, each with its own story. Where should we begin? City Palace feels central.
It really is, physically and historically, right in the heart of the old city. And architecturally, it's this amazing fusion of Rajasthani and Mughal styles.
You see that blend a lot in Rajasthan, don't you?
You do. As you go in, you see these intricate arches, carvings on marble pillars, floral designs in gold and colored stones, and those two big marble elephants at the entrance. Quite grand.
Elephants, nice touch. What's inside?
There's a fantastic museum. One part has royal costumes, really gives you a sense of the clothing styles. Another part has weaponry Mughal and Rajput arms, some swords with incredible Meenakari enamel work and jewels.
Wow. Sounds impressive.
And there's an art gallery too, miniature paintings, carpets, royal items, and linking back to Sawai Jai Singh, a collection of rare astronomical instruments he gathered.
Ah, his passion for astronomy again.
Exactly. And right next door, literally adjacent, is the Jantar Mantar Observatory.
The biggest one he built, right?
The largest of the 5. The instruments are just mind-boggling. Huge, complex, precisely built. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site now, since 2012.
Deservedly so, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful example of medieval India's scientific achievements. One instrument, the Ram Yantra, used for measuring altitude, it's still incredibly accurate. People are amazed by it.
It's incredible. And then the one everyone knows the picture of, Hawa Mahal.
The Palace of Winds. You can't miss it. Built in 1799. It's like the ultimate symbol of Rajput architecture, isn't it?
That pink 5-story facade.
Made of pink sandstone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a octagonal shape. And the most famous feature, those 953 small latticed windows Shirokas.
953. Why so many?
It was ingenious, really. It was designed so the royal women who observed strict purdah, meaning they couldn't be seen in public.
Right, they were secluded.
Exactly. So these windows allowed them to watch the street life, the processions, everything happening in the city below without being seen themselves.
Love a design.
Yeah.
And the Palace of Wind's name.
That comes from the effect of the breeze. When wind flows through all those little windows, it creates this natural cooling effect inside, almost like air conditioning.
Ah, so it actually keeps it cool.
It really does. You can feel a fresh breeze inside, even when it's hot outside.
Amazing. And what about temples? Any major ones right in the city?
Definitely. The Govindevji Temple is probably the most famous one for Lord Krishna in Jaipur. It's unique because it doesn't have a shikara, the typical temple tower.
Oh, interesting. Where is it?
It's right in the middle of the Jaini West Garden, just east of the Chandra Mahal part of the city palace. The idol of Govindji, the main deity, was actually brought from Vrindavan.
Brought from Vrindavan?
Yes, Sawai Singh II himself reestablished it here. It became the royal family's cherished deity, making the temple a really important spiritual hub for the city.
So City Palace, Jantar Mantar, Hawa Mahal, Govind Devji Temple. Quite a cluster right there in the center.
Absolutely. But Jaipur's heritage spreads much wider than just that core.
Yeah.
There are tons of other significant spots.
Okay, like what else shouldn't people miss?
Well, there's Sargasuli, also called Iserlat. It's this tall tower, kind of like a minaret, over near Tripolia Bazaar.
What's its story?
Sawai Singh built it in 1749 A.D. to celebrate a victory over the Marathas. You get great views of the city from the top.
Ah, a victory tower. Cool.
Then you have Ramniwas Bagh. It's a huge public garden. Got a zoo, a greenhouse, a museum, even a famous cricket ground.
A big green space. Nice.
It was built by Sawai Ram Singh II back in 1865. Inside it is the Albert Hall Museum, designed by Sir Swinton Jacob. Beautiful building, Indian-style architecture, housing sculptures, paintings, natural history stuff. And the Ravindra Manch for cultural shows is there, too.
Lots going on in that garden.
Definitely. Then there's Moti Dungri. It means Pearl Hill. It's a small hill with a palace replica on top. There's also an old Shiva temple there that only opens once a year for Shivratri.
Only once a year. Wow.
Yeah, it makes it quite special. And at the foot of the hill are two very important temples.
Yeah.
A very popular Ganesh temple and the grand Lakshmi Narayan temple, built with white marble.
Okay, lots of spiritual sites, too.
Yes. And there's the statue circle, which is newer, honoring the city's founder, Sawai Singh, with a big statue. Then Galta Tirtha, an ancient pilgrimage spot outside the city walls, set in the hills, known for its temples, pavilions, and sacred water tanks, or kunds.
Sounds peaceful.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a sun god temple on the highest peak there, built by Dewan Kirparam. You can see its silhouette from far away.
Nice. Any others?
One more worth mentioning is the Chudagiri Jain Temple, out on the Jaipur-Agra Road. It has these lovely 19th century paintings done in the distinct Jaipur style. Bit of a hidden gem, perhaps.
It sounds like you could spend weeks just exploring the city itself.
If it really could.
But Jaipur is also famous for its massive forts, right? The ones guarding the city. Let's talk about those. Amer Fort seems like the big one.
The Amer Fort is definitely a must-see. It was the capital for the Kachwaha rulers for 7 centuries before Jaipur was even built.
7 centuries? Wow.
It's perched dramatically above Meota Lake. And many visitors still take the elephant ride up to the main entrance, the Singh Pole.
The elephant ride, that's iconic.
It is. From the main courtyard, Jalab Chowk, steps lead up to the Shilamata temple. The idol inside, the goddess Shilamata, is highly revered. Rajaman Singh actually brought it all the way from Jessore in Bengal.
Really? That's quite a journey for an idol.
It is. And then you enter the main palace complex. You've got the Diwanayam, the hall for public audiences with its beautiful pillars, and the Ganesh pole, this stunning painted gateway leading into the private courtyards.
Sounds incredibly ornate.
It is.
Yeah.
Inside, you find places like Sukhniwas and Jaz Mandir, just exquisite examples of that Mughal Rajput blend, intricate lattice screens, mirror work that glitters,
Yeah.
stucco decorations. It's breathtaking.
Mirror work sounds amazing.
It really catches the light. And around the fort, you can explore the ruins of the older Amur town and the Jagat Shiromani temple, too.
So much history packed in one place. What about Jaigarh Fort?
Jaigarh is fascinating because it's primarily a military fort, one of the best preserved medieval military structures in India, really.
So less palace, more defense.
Exactly. It has palaces and gardens inside too, but also huge water tanks, an armory, a cannon foundry.
The cannon foundry, where they made the Jaivana cannon.
That's the one. You can see the foundry and the massive Jaivana cannon itself there. It's just awe-inspiring.
Must be incredible to see up close.
It truly is. And then, watching over everything, including Jaigarh, is Nahargarh Fort.
The Tiger Fort.
Right. It sits on the hills behind Jaigarh, like a sentinel guarding Jaipur. A lot of the original fort is ruined now, but later rulers Suwaiman Singh II and Swai Ho Singh II added some beautiful buildings.
So still worth visiting.
Oh, absolutely. The views from Nahargarh are spectacular, especially at sunset. It really gives you a sense of the city spread out below.
These forts sound incredible, each with its own distinct character.
They really are, and it brings up that point again, doesn't it? These aren't just tourist spots. They are fundamental to understanding Jaipur's history, its power, its culture.
Absolutely. You can feel the history just talking about them. Now, are there interesting places around Jaipur too? Day trips, maybe?
Definitely. The area around Jaipur is rich with other sites. For example, Sanganer, just about 12 kilometers away.
Sanganer. What's there?
It's famous for beautifully carved Jain temples, some palace ruins, but mostly for its handloom industry, especially block printing and screen printing. Different style to Jaipur's, perhaps simpler.
More crafts.
Yes. Then there's Goner, about 17 kilometers away. People call it Jaipur ki Choti Kashi, a mini Kashi or Varanasi. He has the Sri Lakshmi Jagdish Maharaj Temple, an old fort, and traditional stepwells or bioris.
Mini Kashi. Interesting.
Babru, about 34 kilometers out on the Ajmer Road, also has an old fort, but it's mainly known for its own style of hand block printing. Often uses simpler blocks, more muted colors than Jaipur prints.
So different textile traditions in nearby towns.
Exactly. And Ramgarh Lake, about 32 kilometers northeast. It's a huge artificial lake, quite picturesque, especially in monsoon. There's the temple, Jammu Mata, and Old Fort ruins. Great picnic spot.
Sounds lovely.
Samod, 40 kilometers northeast, has the stunning Samod Palace. It's basically a beautifully restored Rajput Haveli showcasing incredible architecture.
A restored Haveli. Nice.
Viratnagar, further out about 86 kilometers, is historically very important. Excavations found ruins of a circular Buddhist temple, really rare for Rajasthan, and one of India's earliest temples found. Also has Mauryan, Mughal, Rajput artifacts.
Wow, Buddhist ruins too. Unexpected.
Yeah, it is. Then there's Samvar, about 14 kilometers west, known for its massive salt lake and a sacred Devyani Kund.
Buddha Lake, right?
And finally, Chaksu, just 2 kilometers east, has the Shitla Mata Temple. They have a huge annual fair there that attracts millions of worshippers.
Millions, goodness.
Yeah, it's a major event. So you see, the whole region around Jaipur is just steeped in history and culture. Each place adds another layer to the story.
It really does. It paints a much bigger picture than just the pink city itself. Okay, so we've covered the past, the planning, the economy, the incredible sights. Let's talk about Jaipur now. How is it changing?
Well, it's definitely changing, evolving. As you mentioned, it was recently named one of the world's 10 most beautiful cities. That says something about its blend of heritage and development.
10 most beautiful.
Yeah.
And you mentioned post-independence projects.
Yes. After 1947, Jaipur really started its journey towards becoming a major metropolis. Think huge projects like Mansarovar, said to be Asia's largest residential colony.
Asia's largest. That's massive.
It is. Also, the main hospital, Swayman Singh Hospital, the Grand Vidhan Sabha, or Assembly Building, the Amar Jawan Jyoti War Memorial, the main commercial street MI Road, and the big Central Park. These were all major developments.
Laying the foundations for a modern city.
Exactly. And in the last few years, you really see that metro culture taking hold. Gleaming roads, multi-story shopping malls, modern housing colonies. They look just like what you'd find in Delhi or Mumbai now.
So it's really stepping up as a major Indian city.
It absolutely is. The transformation is quite visible. It shows the city's energy, its push towards the future.
And how does that sit alongside the old city, that juxtaposition you mentioned earlier?
Well, if you look at it broadly, the way old Jaipur and new Jaipur exist side by side is, it's quite special. You get this direct view of both traditional culture and modern life. It really highlights the city's journey, its history, and its development path.
A city of contrasts, in a way.
In the best way, perhaps. And what's amazing is, no matter how much the buildings change or the roads widen, some things remain constant, like the food.
Ah, the food. Yeah.
The authentic taste of Jaipur's cuisine, dal bati churma, garsagriya ki sabzi, those sweet malpuas, they're still there, still cherished by locals and tourists alike. It's like an anchor to its identity.
That's wonderful. Comfort food amidst the change.
Exactly. But as we discussed with the economy, progress brings challenges. Unemployment, the pressures of urbanization, smaller traditional businesses struggling. These are real issues that need ongoing attention.
Finding that balance again.
Always. making sure development benefits everyone and is sustainable. That's the tightrope walk for any growing historic city.
Now, while we're talking about challenges in the city's journey, there was a very difficult moment in its recent past, wasn't there? The 2008 bombings.
Yes, that's important to acknowledge. May 13th, 2008. A terrible day for Jaipur. A series of 7 coordinated bomb blasts.
So tragic.
It was devastating. Over 80 people lost their lives. Many more were injured. They even found an 8th bomb and managed to defuse it, thankfully. It shook the city profoundly. Now, but it also became this example, in a somber way, of Jaipur's resilience. The way the city coped, faced that horror, and eventually moved forward with such strength. It says a lot about its spirit.
Incredible resilience, indeed. A testament to the people.
Absolutely.
So, despite facing such tragedies and the ongoing challenges of growth, what's the outlook? You mentioned the future looks bright.
I think it does, yes. It brings up that crucial question. What's next for Jaipur? How does it keep evolving? The potential is definitely there.
And people are working towards it.
Yes, both the government and private sector are actively working together, investing in infrastructure, technology, sustainable projects, trying to build on that strong economic base.
Good to hear.
Jaipur's economic future genuinely seems full of possibilities. It's already established itself as this major hub, commercial, cultural, technological. The foundations are strong, and it seems poised for more innovation, more development, blending that unique heritage with modernity.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. History, planning, economy, landmarks, modern changes, challenges, future. What's the big takeaway here if you had to sum up Jaipur?
The big picture. I think it's that Jaipur is so much more than just bricks and mortar, isn't it?
Definitely feels that way.
It's this living, vibrant mix. History, art, modernity, and this really resilient spirit running through it all.
Yeah, that resilience comes through strongly.
And it really shows us how tradition and innovation don't have to be enemies. They can actually thrive together. It shows how a city can stay deeply connected to its past while still striding confidently into the future.
A model, perhaps.
It raises that important question, doesn't it? Can cities like Jaipur, cities with such deep roots, offer a kind of blueprint for development in our fast-changing world?
A blueprint where you honor the past but welcome the future.
Exactly. A model where heritage isn't just preserved behind glass, but is actively part of a living, evolving city, welcoming progress with, open arms and a smart strategy.
That's a really powerful thought to end on.
Well, we really hope this deep dive has given everyone listening a richer, maybe more nuanced understanding of Jaipur's many sides. Hopefully it sparks some curiosity to explore it even further.
I'm sure it will. Thanks for walking us through it all.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating city.